Top 5 healthy nuts that could secretly increase your stroke risk after 60. Many people believe that nuts are always good for your health, but the truth is, some healthy nuts can quietly raise your risk of stroke, especially if you are over 60 or have underlying health conditions. In this video, you'll discover the top 5 nuts you should avoid before bed and the science behind why they can harm your brain and heart health. We'll also share safer alternatives and simple eating tips to protect your circulation, reduce blood clot risk, and keep your brain sharp as you age. If you or your loved ones are looking to live longer, healthier, and avoid preventable health risks, this video is a must-watch. Like this video if you found it helpful, and share it so more people can protect themselves. Don't forget to subscribe for more senior health tips every week. I'm Dr. Anderson, and for over 30 years in medicine, I've dedicated my career to a field I'm incredibly passionate about, helping adults, especially those of us over 60, live longer, healthier, and more fulfilling lives. We often talk a lot about what we should add to our diets: more greens, more berries, more whole grains. But today, I want to discuss something that is perhaps even more critical. Certain foods that many of us believe are healthy, but could secretly be working against you, especially when consumed at a specific time of day. Specifically, I want to talk about stroke risk. It's a topic that worries many, and for good reason. A stroke can happen suddenly, sometimes with no warning signs at all, and it can change your life forever. This is why preventive medicine is so vital. Understanding what we put into our bodies isn't just about managing weight. It's about protecting our brains, our hearts, and our very futures. Recently, the medical community has paid closer attention to how certain nuts, often praised as superfoods, might contribute to an increased risk of stroke if not consumed correctly. The most concerning part is that this can happen while you're asleep, turning a seemingly harmless process into a potential threat. So, why at night, and why nuts? Imagine your body is like a city. During the day, the city is bustling, energy is consumed, and systems are running at full capacity. Nighttime is when the city needs to rest, repair, and regenerate. When we eat a large calorie-dense, fatty, or sodium-rich snack right before bed, we force the city to work overtime. This can trigger a cascade of biological responses. Blood pressure. Our blood pressure naturally drops at night, a process called nocturnal dipping. Eating a large amount of sodium or calories can interfere with this process, keeping your blood pressure elevated for hours when it should be resting. High blood pressure is the #1 risk factor for stroke. Inflammation. Some nuts, especially when processed with unhealthy oils or sugar, can promote inflammation in the body. Chronic inflammation is at the root of many diseases, including the buildup of plaque in your arteries, atherosclerosis, which can lead to a stroke. Blood sugar. Nuts coated in sugar or honey can cause a sharp spike in blood sugar, followed by a crash. This fluctuation puts stress on your vascular system. So, what are the 5 healthy nuts we need to be mindful of? It is critical to emphasize here that these nuts themselves are not the villains. The problem lies in the preparation, the portion size, and the timing of when we eat them. 1. Salted, roasted peanuts. Peanuts are a great source of protein and healthy fats. But when you grab a handful of salted, roasted peanuts for an evening snack, you're consuming a massive amount of sodium. A small portion can exceed the recommended sodium for an entire meal, directly raising your blood pressure throughout the night. Doctor's advice: opt for unsalted raw peanuts, and limit yourself to a small handful, about 1/4 cup, during the day, not before bed. 2. Brazil nuts. This nut is famous for its incredibly high selenium content, a powerful antioxidant. However, there can be too much of a good thing. Just 2 to 3 Brazil nuts provide your entire day's worth of selenium. Eating more on a regular basis can lead to selenium toxicity, selenosis, causing neurological and circulatory issues. Doctor's advice: treat Brazil nuts like a supplement, not a snack. Limiting yourself to 1 to 2 nuts, just a few times a week, is plenty. 3. Salted or honey-roasted cashews. Compared to other nuts, cashews are slightly higher in carbohydrates. When they are roasted in oil and coated with salt or sugar, they become a calorie, sodium, and sugar bomb. This can negatively affect both your blood pressure and your blood sugar overnight. Doctor's advice: if you enjoy cashews, look for the raw, unsalted variety and incorporate them into your main meals, where they can be balanced with other high-fiber foods. 4. Macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts are delicious, buttery, and rich in heart-healthy monounsaturated fats. However, they are also one of the most calorie-dense nuts available. Eating a large portion in the evening can contribute to weight gain, a significant risk factor for stroke, and put a strain on your digestive system when it should be resting. Doctor's advice: enjoy the wonderful taste of macadamia nuts, but limit your portion to 5 to 6 nuts at a time, and have them during the day when you're still active. 5. Any candied or sugar-coated nuts, candied pecans, honey-roasted almonds. They may seem like a better choice than candy, but the added sugar is the problem. Sugar is a powerful inflammatory agent. It can damage the delicate lining of our blood vessels, making them more susceptible to damage and clot formation. Doctor's advice: treat these nuts as a dessert. Enjoy them only on special occasions, in very small quantities, and certainly not as a late-night snack. Setting the same warm professional doctor's office, the doctor is seated, looking directly at the camera with a serious yet compassionate expression. Doctor: hello, and welcome back. In our last conversation, we discussed the general principle that some healthy foods can pose hidden risks, especially when eaten late at night. The response to that discussion was overwhelming, and many of you asked for more specific information. Today, I want to honor that request and move from the general to the specific. We are going to identify one particular nut that is frequently praised for its health benefits, yet it can become uniquely problematic and potentially increase stroke risk for older adults when consumed before bedtime. My goal is not to create fear, but to provide you with the detailed knowledge you need to protect your health. The nut I am referring to is the Brazil nut. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Doctor, I thought Brazil nuts were good for me. And you're right, in the proper context, they are. They are perhaps the single best food source for a vital trace mineral called selenium. Selenium is a powerful antioxidant that helps protect our cells from damage. But here lies a crucial paradox of nutrition. A nutrient that is essential in small amounts can become harmful, even toxic, in large amounts. This is precisely the case with Brazil nuts and selenium. The mechanism: what happens when you eat Brazil nuts before bed? A safe daily intake of selenium is easily met by consuming just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts. Many people, unaware of this, snack on a large handful, thinking they are doing something good for their body. When you do this, especially in the evening, you trigger a cascade of events that can put your vascular system under stress while you sleep. First, let's talk about blood viscosity and vascular response. Consuming an excessive amount of selenium can, over time, lead to a condition called stenosis. In this state, instead of acting as a protector, the mineral can contribute to oxidative stress. This stress can damage the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels, known as the endothelium. A damaged endothelium becomes less flexible and less responsive. It struggles to properly regulate blood flow and pressure. Second, this effect is amplified by the physiology of aging and sleep. As we get older, our metabolism naturally slows down, and our blood circulation isn't as robust as it once was. During sleep, circulation slows even further. If your vascular system is already stressed from a nutrient overload, this period of slow circulation can become dangerous. The blood can become slightly more viscous, or thicker, increasing the risk of a blood clot forming. Your blood pressure, which should be dipping to a lower restful state, may fail to do so, leading to a condition called non-dipping hypertension, a significant and often silent risk factor for nocturnal stroke. The health implications and supporting data for an individual over the age of 60. These risks are magnified. Why? Because of age-related vascular fragility. As we age, our blood vessels naturally lose some of their elasticity. They become stiffer and more susceptible to damage from fluctuations in blood pressure and inflammation. While we need more direct research on this specific nut at this specific time, a growing body of observational research has established a clear link between large, high-fat, or nutrient-dense meals eaten late at night and an increased incidence of cardiovascular events, including stroke. Studies show that consuming such snacks can disrupt the body's natural overnight repair cycles and place undue stress on the heart and blood vessels. We see this in clinical practice. Patients who suffer strokes during their sleep often have underlying issues with blood pressure regulation and vascular health that were exacerbated by late-night habits. My practical, life-saving guidance. So, what is my advice to you? It's simple, clear, and actionable. Avoid Brazil nuts as a pre-bedtime snack. Do not eat them, or any heavy fatty nuts, within 3 hours of going to sleep. This gives your body the fasting period it needs to rest and repair properly. Shift your consumption to earlier in the day. If you wish to get the antioxidant benefits of Brazil nuts, treat them like a daily supplement. Have one, and only one, Brazil nut with your breakfast or lunch. This allows your active daytime metabolism to process the selenium effectively without overwhelming your system. Choose safer alternatives for nighttime snacking. If you truly feel hungry before bed, choose something light that promotes rest rather than stress. Excellent options include a small cup of plain Greek yogurt, a handful of almonds, which are rich in magnesium, a mineral that can help with relaxation and blood pressure regulation, a cup of caffeine-free herbal tea, like chamomile or valerian root, a single whole grain cracker with a small slice of turkey, which contains tryptophan, an amino acid that can aid in sleep. Doctor, as we bring our conversation to a close, I want to take a moment to thank you for joining me on this important journey. We've covered a lot of ground together, from the general principles of how our bodies handle food at night, to the very specific example of the Brazil nut and its powerful dual-edged nature. If there is one single idea I hope you take away from our time together, it is this: in medicine and in nutrition, context is everything. A food that is wonderfully healthy in one situation can become a source of stress for your body in another. This is never truer than for those of us over the age of 60. Our bodies have served us well for decades, but they require a more thoughtful and gentle approach as they mature. The wisdom of aging isn't just in our minds. It must also be in our habits. The good news, and it is truly wonderful news, is that protecting your health doesn't require a radical, difficult overhaul of your entire life. It is often the small, simple adjustments that have the most profound impact. There's an old saying I'm fond of: small hinges swing big doors. Choosing to have your snack in the afternoon instead of right before bed is a small hinge. Opting for a cup of calming herbal tea instead of a heavy calorie-dense snack is a small hinge. These simple habit adjustments are not sacrifices. They are powerful acts of self-respect. Each time you make one of these conscious choices, you are sending a clear message to your body: I am on your side. You are actively reducing your risk for serious events like stroke, and you are supporting your long-term brain health and vascular health, ensuring they serve you well for all the years to come. So, I encourage you today to become a gentle observer of your own routines. Take a quiet moment to reconsider your evening habits. Are you, perhaps, one of the many people who enjoys a handful of nuts or another healthy snack while reading or watching television before bed? If so, I hope our discussion has empowered you to lovingly adjust that routine. It's not about taking away the pleasure of a snack. It's about timing it for when your body can best handle it, and choosing alternatives at night that promote rest and repair, rather than work and stress. Ultimately, being the guardian of your own health comes down to this: listening to the quiet wisdom of your body, honoring its need for rest, and understanding that the simplest choices we make each day are the ones that build a future of vitality and well-being. Leans forward slightly, with a heartfelt and encouraging smile. This kind of knowledge is too important to keep to oneself. If you have found value in our conversations, I sincerely ask you to help me share this message. Please click the like button, and more importantly, share this video with the people you love. Share it with your spouse, your parents, a neighbor, or a friend from your community group. You never know when a simple piece of information can become the catalyst for a life-saving change. Thank you, once again, for your time and your trust. It has been a privilege to speak with you. Stay healthy, stay informed, and be well.